This is part 2 of the Train Your Eye exercise where we're using this photo from Lulu in Georgia. I did the last video where we talked about what the color temperature of the room was, and you let me know in the comments, but if you didn't watch that video, go ahead and let me know 1 to 10 how cool or how warm you think this is. We also talked about what the base color is and what the focal color is. You can go watch that video for the exercise, but you can also put it in the comments here. What we didn't talk about yet was the color layering. We also talked about 5 colors of the room, but we didn't talk about color layering. And I had told you that I chose this room specifically because it's very similar colors. So color layering is super important here. Take a look at it one more time. Save this video so you can come back to it for later if you have more time to look at it then. Now tell me, before I even talk about it, tell me, how do you see color layering happening? Did you even realize when you looked at this that there was color layering happening? Did you even realize that it might have been a really intentional move? When you take one kind of color in the same category and you layer it softly, generally speaking, you have a much more zen, calm environment. When you have rooms that have much more stark color blocking, like for example, this one, I'm not saying it's not calm, but it's not the same level of zen. In order to accomplish this, you have to layer it very carefully. So I'm curious to see what you put in the comments. I'm going to tell you a couple tips now for how you color layer properly, so that when you're on your journey of becoming an interior designer and you're working on designing a room, you know how to do it. One of the first tricks of layering colors in a room that have very, very similar colors, choosing different kinds of materials and textures that give it that depth and variation. A little bit of shadow, a little bit of shine, just a different kind of sensory environment, but all within the same color scheme. If you'll see, we've got wood here, but we also have different textures of wood, different patterns of wood, different stains, different colors, but there's a lot of that happening in here. And then we have this, which I believe is wood. It has a pattern chiseled into it, so that gives it depth and dimension. It also plays in and of itself with the color layering. Do you know how it does that? Because it plays with the shadows and the light. So all within the same piece that is in the same color scheme of the room, we have lighter parts and darker parts, which play into the layering. And that's the other thing. The temperature of it, the concentration level of the color is enough to layer it. And that'll happen naturally with lighting. Like you see in this corner, this is darker and this is lighter, which brings me to the last thing, which is lighting. Having different variations of lighting and lighting temperature, lighting placement, lighting concentration will help a room feel like it has the different levels of color concentration just from lighting sometimes.